The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
What's up, everybody? It's the week of August 5th, 2019. My name is Taylor Cooper. This is Might Be Sports. With me, as always, Kevin Reevy. What up, Reevy?
I'm so excited.
What's up, CJ?
I'm so excited.
We had some grand entrance music and Kevin Reevy karaoke.
It is the mid-season finale.
I don't know much, but I know I love you.
Okay, terrific.
We love you guys.
We love you guys.
This is the finale.
This is the finale right now. We're taking a month off, and we'll be back after Labor Day. But this is cause of celebration. I mean, we've had a great. This is the 15th week. We've had a great season so far. We have a lot to look forward to on the second half of the season for Might Be Sports and all the rest of the great shows on the Might Be News Network. We got some new equipment. We're looking into some the next steps, in this whole process of building a network. So it's going to be pretty crazy. I'm looking forward to what comes next. You know what I mean? So we have a couple people calling into the show today.
Our first two-time.
Is this? Yeah, this is
two
our first
callers
time.
in one episode.
Two callers.
That's the first.
It's big. It's big.
Right. So we got Jack Fritz from 94.1 WIP in Philly. He's calling in, baseball expert guy. He's a friend of mine. And, when I met him, probably like 6 months ago, maybe about a year ago, I knew him from the radio, didn't know him personally. You sit down and you have a beer with this guy, and once he gets going on baseball, you're like, all right, he's the real deal. You don't always know. Some guys on the radio, not going to name names. They don't know. They kind of mail it in certain aspects, but when you're an expert on something, it shows.
Yeah.
This guy knows his baseball.
That's cool.
And then, of course, we got Andrew.
Andrew's calling in.
Friend of the show.
Yeah.
Andrew DiCecco from USA Today Eagles Wire. He'll be calling in on the second half of the show. So we got some baseball up front, football on the back end.
He's our Eagles insider.
Right. And this guy, nobody knows more of like the nitty gritty stuff. I mean, you could probably pick someone out there that, works at this full time, beat writer. You could, in one hand, you could pick guys that know as much stuff as Andrew DiCecco, and he might be number one. He gets into it with guys you've never heard of on the team and all across the NFL. Guys that kind of, are on the fringe.
Yeah.
If you want to know about, this is the time for him right now. If you want to know who's going to make the roster, who's shining, who might be, left behind when it comes down to, cutting rosters down, he's your guy.
Right.
He is. Excited to talk to him, and not just the Eagles, but just to see what's going on around the NFL and see who's, who to look out for. I want to find out who the surprise team is going to be.
Right.
Because right now, what annoys me is like fantasy football, like the rankings and all that, and it's always the guys that, killed it last year.
Right.
And then what happens every damn year?
Yeah.
Those guys aren't at the top of the leaderboard come the end.
They get the cover of Madden and it's all over.
Right.
So
I want to know. I want to know who Andrew is picking that nobody else is. Not necessarily a player, but a team.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he definitely gets in depth with it, and he knows a lot more about it than anyone else that I know. So it's fantastic, and the writing that he does is also fantastic. I love talking to Andrew about football because you can just tell that is where his brain is at, like almost at all times. Like he just loves the game. And he loves thinking about these players that people may know about and people may not know about. But dude, you brought up fantasy football, and I am pumped for fantasy football this year. Like we're doing a network fantasy football league, and this thing is going to be crazy. And I'm trying to think.
Is it though?
Yes.
Is it going to be crazy?
It's going to be crazy.
I don't know if it's going to be crazy.
I'm going to throw my hands up like it's going to be crazy.
There's going to be regular popcorn, caramel popcorn, maybe some cheddar popcorn.
Yeah.
We might even order pizzas. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
I mean, the conversation that already happens in the network group chat,
It gets pretty
it's gonna explode.
A lot of BAM talk today.
yeah.
Oh yeah, a lot of
which-
stuff going on in that area.
Let me tell you something. If we do this draft at Steve's, Mr. Steve from Brewers, CJ, you were there at his place last time.
Yes,
It's semi-luxurious.
it's set up for a draft party.
It's set up for a draft party. It's going to be a beautiful thing.
So is he
It's
one of
gonna be
those
beautiful.
guys like he brings like strange arrays of beer that are all like borderline illegal?
Oh, I don't know about that, but probably.
I mean, technically, most of the beer that Bruce talks about is illegal with the laws and stuff of Pennsylvania.
No, whatever. I don't know. Probably.
Transporting all those cases across state lines.
It's all good. If you like beer, you'll go. Yeah, you'll have a good time there.
Like all like the weird beer names like your mother's liquor cabinet, sugar painted ponytail musical farts.
Probably.
Not to give people more ideas, but which by the way, let me bring this up real
They're
quick.
already trademarked.
Can we stop it with the unicorn shit?
Unicorn shit?
The unicorn name, like they've used it and abused it in every special beer, quote unquote special beer, and like these micro brews.
Have they?
They're overusing the
There's
unicorn.
a couple unicorns.
It's weird. One has what do you call that? Glitter in it. It literally has glitter
yes,
in the
I've
beer.
seen that.
That's weird.
And it's called like unicorn farts, something like that. It's like, all right, it's cute like 3 years ago. I'm over it.
Yeah.
And some of these beers you can't say out loud in a bar. It's embarrassing.
See, a day after drinking, I would think because it's edible glitter, and they even have like little glitter caplets you can take, and so you have glitter poop.
Yeah.
It would take me a good little bit to be like, why in the fuck am I shitting glitter?
Right. Right. I would be like, is there glitter in my shit? I would be
glitter's the
kind of
worst.
bugged out about it.
Also, to go on a tangent, like what happened like 5 years ago? Did like the greeting card industry like accidentally order like 6,000 tons of glitter by mistake, and they're like, fuck it, use that shit, put it on everything. Glitter goes on every fucking card from here on out. Glitter is on way too many cards. Who wants it's inconvenient at best. It should be
It is.
there should be laws against it at worst. It's insane. Nobody wants a glitter card. You open up the card, you're not expecting it. You get it on your hands, you can't get it off. You send the card, the same thing. It abuses both sides of the transaction, the user and the receiver, or the sender and the receiver. And it's on every card. If I see a glitter card, I don't care how good the card is, I don't get it. And sometimes it sucks because it's a perfect card, but I won't do the whole glitter thing. But glitter's on everything. Why?
I guess we're not going to talk about the Eagles announcement with Kevin, where the Eagles are doing Bedazzled Glitter Night.
Wait, is that real?
That'd be great if it was.
That would totally
CJ shook
be-
his head like everybody heard him.
No, I could totally see that as being like one of the...
Well, I didn't want to talk into the mic while I was mid-laugh.
that could be a TMZ rapid fire thing. They're doing glitter night where you
NFL glitter night.
bedazzle your favorite player's helmet.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. But I'm pumped. I'm pumped for football to be back. I mean, that's my bread and butter, man. Like, one thing that I've learned this summer is how hard it is some weeks to do a sports podcast with just baseball. Like, especially because I'm a Phillies fan, and I have zero interest in watching the Phillies right now. Every time I try, it's just
They
abysmal.
lose, and it takes them a while.
And can I just say real quick,
Yeah.
before we get too far along, I've been to there was a wedding last week and some nice dinners in between. And you know what my bread and butter is? Bread and butter. Bread and butter is the best. It's great, especially at a wedding when you're waiting for the food and the bread and butter's there, and they'll happily replenish that whenever you ask. And Bread and butter, way underrated. Where were we?
Dude, you know who's got really good bread and butter? What is it? Texas Roadhouse got some pretty good. They got the cinnamon butter, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's got the pumpernickel
Normally,
bread?
I'd be against that. Cinnamon is like the edible glitter. I don't like cinnamon.
You don't like cinnamon?
I don't like it aesthetically. I don't love the taste, and it's got glitter properties to it, where it lends itself towards being a little
So I take it you're like
obtrusive.
your pancakes over French toast then?
I don't do pancakes.
What? What are you, like a waffle guy?
What a waste of time. It's all right.
Come on, you have to eat pancakes, especially when you're in the hotel that have the individual pancake maker.
I'm going to sound insane by saying all pancakes are is glorified bread when I just said bread and butter is my bread and butter. But pancakes
it's
and
essentially-
waffles, it's just bread and you're
butter.
You're pouring sugar over top of it. I don't know. Bread and butter seems like...
So you're a French toast guy?
No, French toast is like bread and butter on crack. And I don't know if you know this about me. Don't do drugs. So, no, I'm not interested in that. I am eggs, bacon, sausage, those are the breakfast foods. You know what? I'm including fried chicken. What? Fried chicken? Why is it not a breakfast food? Oh, if you have it with waffles, it's okay. Bullshit. The waffles is the worst part of that transaction. It should
No,
be
isn't
just
there
fried
a
chicken.
breakfast sandwich that has eggs and fried chicken?
That's just now becoming part of
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A does
lexicon.
breakfast sandwiches
Yeah.
Right.
with fried chicken and eggs.
But I mean, they're on the vanguard of that movement. All right, it's
Correct.
going to take a long time.
Yo,
We're not
Chick-fil-A's
there yet.
Chick-fil-A's breakfast is slamming. They don't pay us, but that shit is really good.
Like we say politically in this country sometimes, like we're making strides. We're not there yet. We're not where we want to be with fried chicken for breakfast. And you know what? Orange juice, bullshit. It's just sugar. Liquid. That is actual bullshit.
Royal Farms also does fried chicken breakfast sandwiches.
Yes. All right. You're giving examples. Right. But I'm saying nobody at home, like mom's not making you fried chicken for breakfast, and she should.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
How great a mom would that be, by the way, if you wake up like Sunday morning and she's working the deep fryer and making fried chicken? Yes, please.
yeah.
How great a mom is that?
Absolutely.
If she's doing that for you on Sunday mornings, making you fried chicken, I don't need to know anything else. That's a super mom.
Wow. Well, I mean, I can't really argue.
That's what they call an indicator. I literally have no idea what we were talking about before this.
Doesn't even matter
Went down.
at this point because it's the mid-season finale.
And we're going to have to break soon to get
we're gonna,
Jack on the line.
We're gonna get Jack Fritz on the line. We'll be right back after this.
Hey guys, it's your great Uncle Vinny. Listen, your aunt told me it's finale week, and I just thought I'd support. Man, you guys have come a long way. I can't believe I love the show. CJ, wow, I mean, you don't talk much, but when you do, it's very poignant. Your TMZ segment, to be honest, it makes your aunt a little uncomfortable sometimes, but I think you're doing a swell job. And Taylor, I mean, how many times can I tell you got a voice like velvet? Reminds me of the pouch I keep my readers in by the bedroom table. It's just fantastic. And Kevin, Kevin's our special guy. What can you say? Kevin's Kevin. That's all you can say, really. And you guys are doing a great job. Just keep it up. And I can't wait to hear what you guys got in store for next season.
All right, welcome back. With us on the line, Jack Fritz from 94.1 WIP. You can find him on Twitter at Jack Fritz WIP. Jack, how you doing, man? Thanks so much for being here.
Oh, of course, guys. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
And don't forget, co-host with James Seltzer of the High Hopes podcast. I mean, basically the quintessential Phillies podcast out there. You guys have a High Hopes night at the ballpark in Philly on August 17th. Is that correct?
August 17th, come out to the ballpark, hang with James and I, and hopefully the Phillies season is not completely over at that point.
So what do you think where they're at right now?
Looking good.
I mean, it's basically, it just seems like it could go either way, and the rest of the division, the Mets are on a roll. The Braves just won't quit. Where do you see the Phillies from here on out?
Well, I mean, the frustrating thing about the Phillies right now is that they really have one starter that you can see being here for the next 4 or 5 years. And when you're looking at a team like the Braves and look at a team like the Nationals and even the Mets. I mean, they just traded for Marcus Stroman. They still have DeGrom, Syndergaard, Stroman. If they let Zach Wheeler go this offseason, they still have Pete Alonso. So, like, the Mets are, they'll find a way to mess it up. But on paper, the Mets aren't too bad. You have the Braves with all their young talent. They seem like, Ian Anderson has got moved up to AAA the other day, so they're just getting better. They have Christian Pashy, who is another top 10 prospect that is fine out of nowhere. And then the Nationals, they have major league talent already. So those guys already have really good cores, and the Phillies kind of try to buy their core. Hoskins, Kingery, Realmuto, Harper, obviously the main guys. But when you look at them and how they have one starter really, and the bullpens, the bullpen, they have like $57 million worth of guys in the bullpen that are on the IL, which is a disaster. So it's like, I want to feel good about this team, but like, you look at the team going forward, and they don't really have young guys coming out to the system. Alec Boehm, I'm as hopeful as anyone, but I think he's going to be really good. But he's coming up, and then Spencer Howard, you need him to be another pitcher, because if he doesn't come up and isn't good, then it's pretty much back to trying to find Drew Smiley's and Jason Vargas's. So I think they're a good team, but in order for them to have another run like they had from 07 to 11, they're going to need to find some more homegrown talent, and hopefully that can start with Boehm and Howard and go from there. But it's not great. It's definitely not great. I don't feel super pumped about where this team is at. And for the last 2 seasons, it's been a team that's been inconsistent, and it's been like just a frustrating watch on most nights, and they've been pretty boring. So it hasn't been a fun 2 years of baseball.
Right, and I think if you look at it, it feels a little bit like it's a totally different team, but it feels a little bit like 2007 or maybe 2006, where it's not quite their time. And right now, they're right there. They could still, make a wild card run. They're right there right now. They could be there at the end of the year, but the odds that they'd be able to beat the teams at the top, if they'd be able to beat the Dodgers in a 7-game series, seems unlikely. So if we are looking towards next year as a Phillies fan, is it possible they could sign someone like Garrett Cole? And does that mean if you're allotting somewhere around, $70 million to 2 players, and Bryce Harper and a guy like Garrett Cole, if you get, a top of the rotation starter in free agency, is that a viable way to run your team for the next 10 years? You have so much money locked up in 2 guys.
Yeah, it does really hinder their ability to make other moves. Like, if you're going to go after those, like, that's pretty much all you're doing in free agency. You're really relying on your development staff to bring up young talent and put cheap talent around those guys. And eventually, you're going to want to pay Reese. They're going to want to extend JT Realmuto. You don't give up Sixto Sanchez and Jorge Alfaro if you're not going to extend JT Realmuto. It's just organizational malpractice, and you're kind of attached to the hip to JT Realmuto, so you got to pay him, you got to pay Hoskins, you're already paying Harper. The Kingery deal's a steal, and the Nola deal is a steal. I don't hate the idea of going after Garrett Cole. Obviously, anytime you can get Garrett Cole, like, you just have to do it, but you have to be prepared to give him $200 million. And if you're willing to do that, I'm all about it, because outside of Spencer Howard, I just don't see another guy that's coming up that can really get to that level of being a Garrett Cole. And I always like the idea of buy the arms and grow the bats. And I like the idea of growing the bats throughout the farm and having a loaded offense, and then go pay big money for the starter that can kind of push you over the top. So, like, Garrett Cole would be the souped-up version of the John Lester signing for the Cubs, or the Verlander trade, or even the Garrett Cole trade for the Astros. So I like the idea of going after Cole, but you're right. It would really hinder their ability to make future moves. But I like the idea of growing the arms and buying the bats, and it kind of feels like that's where the organization is shifting towards.
It's no secret that Bryce Harper isn't playing up to his contract right now. Do you think that one of the most painful parts of this season is just the hangover from the hype of getting Harper, seeing this lineup from before the season started, and expecting so much in such a short period of time? Do you think that's contributing to just the overall just terrible attitude towards the Phillies right now?
Well, I think the perception around Harper was a little bit more than what people thought. Like, obviously, it's partially. I feel like it's partially my fault.
It's your fault, but you're also responsible for bringing Harper into Philadelphia. I mean, come on. Hashtag Harper Lent.
I know. I feel like it's partially my fault for getting everyone as excited, but like I think if he's hitting, if he's at 25 home runs and he has the numbers he has right now, like people just feel better about Bryce Harper. I would just say that like the most frustrating part with him is that like there's a 5-10 minute period on Saturday night when him and Freddie Galvis were tied for home runs. Freddie Galvis, who can barely hit, is tied with Bryce Harper for home runs. So like that scenario, he's not lifting the ball, he's not driving the ball out of the stadium. We're not seeing the prodigious power that we were all thought. And yeah, maybe it is affecting I think if Bryce Harper is a superstar and the Phillies are right now they're tied, they would be playing the Washington Nationals in the wild card game. Like if Bryce Harper is playing like a superstar, you're tied for the wild card. Then the city's more behind this team. They're more excited about this team. Then people start harping back to the Ryan Howard era when Ryan Howard would just put the team on his back and say, let's go make the playoffs. And Harper just hasn't shown the ability to do that yet. So when your superstar isn't playing like a superstar, it's kind of hard to be super in on the team, especially with how inconsistent everyone else has been in the rotation. But I also kind of think that this is kind of what happens when you shit out that kind of money and you're bringing in a guy who's he has holes in his game and he's moving to a new city. He's getting all that money. He's about to have a baby. Like we're big on the iHopes podcast talking about the human factors, and when you're going through all that stuff and you got the baby on the way, you just bought a house like a month ago. Like there's just a lot of stuff going on in Bryce Harper's world that I think next year he's gonna have full spring training, a full offseason to really prepare for what he's about to go through. And I just feel like next year is gonna be Bryce Harper getting back to being Bryce Harper.
Yeah, and it's also a weird year right now. With the baseball, we had from the Athletic, Meredith Wills, who broke that story a month ago. We had her on the show.
Yeah.
And, it's
outrageous,
fascinating, all that kind of stuff. But it creates these weird, Freddie Galvis. I don't think you would see him having this kind of year 3 seasons ago. I mean, obviously he didn't, but I don't think it would be possible unless this kind of weird home run happy game exists.
It makes me more frustrated about Bryce Harper because of the quote unquote juiced balls. Why doesn't he have 40 home runs already?
But actually, let's back up on that. So, Jack, can you talk about what the whole Harper Lent thing was and how that came about?
Yeah, so Harper Lent, I was very frustrated with how everything was going, and I just wanted it to be over. And I kind of thought it was coming to a head a little bit. I didn't think it was going to last another 6 weeks, but that's how the whole free agency thing happened. So I was just sitting on my couch. I don't go to work really until 4, so I was sitting on my couch, and I always thought the idea of kind of giving up something in order to get something would be funny. And I just had the idea of Harper Lent. I texted James about it, and he thought it was hilarious. So then we brought it to the podcast, and people just kind of took off with it. It's like the idea of Harper Lent is you're supposed to give up something you love. I guess that's what people do for Lent. Give up something that you love in order to get what you want or whatever. So I gave up drinking beer or whatever for, I think it was 6 weeks. And then we just had people, send in videos or tweet us and tell us what they were giving up, and it turned into a nice little movement. And it's pretty much the only reason that Bryce Harper's here. So
that much is clear.
If this is one of the worst contracts in baseball history, it's my fault. But if he turns out to be really good, you can also thank me. And I would like to be on the Phillies parade when they win the World Series with Bryce Harper. I think that'd just be fair, honestly.
That'd be fair.
So here's the thing. So now you have a choice. So going into next offseason, you could now choose to do a new player Lent, but also you risk kind of, burning that out. And it might get a little bit lame if you do it, every off season or even just more than once. So are you going to let it go, or are you going to feel the pressure to do it again?
Listen, I will make something lame if it gets me a little bit more fun if I have to do it. I don't know. People have asked me to do different kinds of Lent, and I've turned them down. But if you're telling me that I gotta give up beer to get me Anthony Rendon, I'll give up beer for Anthony Rendon. Like, I will do it again if I have to. That is a promise. I don't care if it gets lame. I just want the Phillies to win, and it worked once. I don't see why it wouldn't work again. And then if it gets me Anthony Rendon or Garrett Cole, I will do it again in the offseason after that. I will keep doing it until I win a World Series and get on the World Series parade float.
Well, here's the thing. So you could do, it just dawned on me, you could do Cole Lent, and you have two options there. It could work either way. It could be Garrett Cole, it could be Cole Hamels.
You're darn right it could.
So, I mean, you get a 2-for-1.
Yeah, Cole Hamels could be my 4 starter for the next 2 years. I'll take that.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
So, all right, we want to switch from the Phillies real quick. The big story right now, and I think it's dumb, and I think this is one of those things where me and Taylor, as we always do, we're going to totally disagree on this.
Okay, but I'm excited now.
There's a chance. So, CJ, do you have the quote or the tweet by any chance, or can you get that? The Rays Twitter Steve Irwin thing. You've heard about this,
I can
Jack?
get that. Hold on one sec.
Have you heard about that tweet, Jack?
I saw something about it. It was over the weekend, right? Like they were kind of going back and forth, and they messed around and talked about Steve Irwin.
Yeah, it was Marlins versus, and then there was a whole big thing with I'm gonna forget the guy's name. Yeah, so the quote was, they go back and forth, and then the Rays tweet was, "You're literally the animal that killed Steve Irwin. Log off."
No, that was the Marlins.
Oh, right. So
Marlins
the Marlins to right, the Marlins to the Rays. Now my contention here is that now saying that you're making fun of a guy who was killed, you're making fun of Steve Irwin, and it's like, no, you're defending Steve Irwin. You're making fun of the Stingray. Like you're on Steve Irwin's side. You're saying
I can see that.
And you know what? It was a joke. It was a tweet battle. It was a beef. It was for fun. And when you make it serious like that, I think that's when it makes more of it than it needs to be. And that's when guys end up losing their job for no good reason. So, I mean, where do you fall on that?
Making a joke about a dead guy, I don't know if it's always the best option. It's pretty funny. But I mean,
it's not smart, but it's also like in that weird middle territory where he's not really making fun of the guy. It's making fun of this situation a little bit, and maybe you shouldn't make light of that, but
it's making light of a Devil Ray killing a guy. I don't know. I don't know if it's the smartest social media strategy, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, probably not the smartest thing to do. Funny, yes, but
funny, yes, but it's probably going to cost you your job.
Tasteful,
well, that's what
no.
I think. And I don't think it was great, and I think
appropriate.
No, I think it's a teachable moment, and it's probably some intern that was doing this, whoever it was. I mean, especially the Marlins. They can't have. There's no way they have the greatest staff going on with that organization. But at the end of the day, you can learn from these things. This could be a nice teachable moment for this guy, or you could ruin his life by firing him for no good reason. I don't know. I don't love it.
I want to switch to football real quick. What do you think about the Eagles? Obviously, the big storyline is Carson Wentz staying healthy. But I mean, how does this team? What's the general temperature that you're getting at the station about the Eagles this year?
Oh, I mean, it's literally, if you think they're winning less than 13 games, you're a crazy person. That's like
it's all too much. It feels a little dream teamy, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I was thinking that as well. It feels honestly a little bit like 2015 when Bradford went 10 for 10 in Green Bay.
Right.
And everyone was melting down about how this team's going to light up the world and whatnot. And then, like let's put it this way. If the hype was like this and they'd never won a Super Bowl, people would be like, stop. But since they won a Super Bowl, everyone's like, oh, this is fine. We win Super Bowls all the time in this city. So I just think that – I think the offense is going to be unbelievable. When you think about it, you have a guy that can stretch the field with Deshaun Jackson. He can get all the way down. He can bomb whenever you want. It's basically going from Torrey Smith to him is like going from a Chevy to a Ferrari. But you do that, and then you get down the red zone, and you have 5 guys who are like 6'4" or taller. You have Alshon, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, and then if you want – Deshaun's not really a red zone guy. You have Nelly. But either way, you have all those options down there to go along with actual running backs like Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard. They actually get depth.
It's interesting you put Dallas Goedert ahead, and you probably didn't do it on purpose, but ahead of Zach Ertz, and how you said that, because I think on the Daily News cover, sports section, something like that today, there was an article about how Zach Ertz might be their second best tight end. That's crazy.
I saw that. I disagree. I mean, Ertz is a Hall of Fame caliber tight end, and I think Goddard's incredible. I think we're going to have. I don't think the league's ready for what those two guys are going to do. I did not mean to put Dallas Goedert ahead of Zach Ertz. It's just more like, dude, 4 guys down there are going to be unbelievable in the red zone. They're basically unguardable. Yeah. But the thing is that I just think people are completely overlooking the defense and completely overlooking the injuries they're facing. Like Fletcher Cox is coming back from an injury. Derek Barnett hasn't even practiced yet. They just lost Joe Osman, who was supposed to be a depth defensive end. You're relying on a guy like Josh Sweat, who didn't show anything last year. Even Derek Barnett. I mean, Derek Barnett, I think, is a really talented, good player, but he's never really shown much. He's been a fine player. And then you're relying on Brandon Graham, who didn't have a great year last year. I think he had like 4.5 sacks. I thought he started turning it on at the end of the year, but like when you're Jim Schwartz's defense and you're relying so much on those 4 guys getting home, and I just don't know if they have the horses to do it. Like they lost Chris Long, they traded away Michael Bennett, and they're relying on a lot of unproven guys to do that. I think Malik Jackson's gonna be a monster, but outside of that, and then you get the linebacking where Nigel Bradham still isn't really practicing. They just lost Camus for a couple games over the weekend. I think Camus was having an unbelievable camp, so losing that, and then you have the safeties and corners like Jalen Mills is still hurt. Ronald Darby's coming back from an injury. I don't trust Rasul Douglas. I would love to believe in Sidney Jones, but he hasn't shown anything. So I am really excited about the offense. I think they're going to score 28 points a game at a minimum. But I just think people are way overlooking the defense and where they're at.
It's going to be really interesting to see because I agree with you there. I mean, I'm just hoping that this is the year with this caliber of offense that we can just keep outscoring people. Just not blow them out, obviously, but just put enough points up on the board and just keep ahead, It's going to be.
I think they will.
It's going to be interesting.
It comes down to Doug. I mean, like Doug. The one thing I don't think a lot of people are talking about is like Doug and Carson were not on the same page last year. Like something fell off.
Right.
In 2017, those guys were in lockstep and they knew what they were doing. And then Doug won the Super Bowl with Foles, and you saw it last year. I mean, they brought in Foles and everything looked normal again. So it's really important for Doug to get Carson or those two really to get on the same page and figure out what went wrong last year. I mean, last year they were awful in the first quarter of games, where in 2017 they were unbelievable. They were fast. They were fast starters in 2017. Last year they weren't. So they need to get on the same page there. But I just think the offense Jordan Howard's been third in the league in rushing since he entered into the league. Like Jordan Howard's a really good player. Miles Sanders looks unbelievable. So I can't wait to see the offense. And you're right. They're going to have to just continue to pour on points, unlike most of last season.
I've said it a bunch of times on the show. I think that last season was almost an anomaly just because of the whole, obviously, Super Bowl, Nick Foles. There's a statue of Nick Foles out front of the stadium. It's just the shadow that loomed over Carson Wentz, and now I feel like they don't have a choice. He's gone. That shadow's gone. We're 1 year removed from the Super Bowl. I feel like it's in that sense, pressure's off. And I hope that translates into Carson Wentz having an MVP caliber season this year.
Yeah, it feels that way with the team, too. I mean, last year, they had guys coming back from injury, like Alshon was coming back from injury, Carson, Jason Peters, Darren Sproles. And it never feels like they really had a training camp. And it just feels like this year they kind of have that swagger back. Like we had Brandon Brooks on our midday show today, and he was just saying like this camp just feels different. It feels like 2017 again. It feels like we got our swagger back, and I really think a lot of that has to do with Deshaun being back. I mean, Deshaun's a guy that went to Washington, tried to stick it in our faces for 3 years there, goes to Tampa Bay, and it's just like kind of playing in no man's land. Like no one cares about the Tampa Bay Bucks. So I think he's rejuvenated coming back here, and I think him being here and him being that rejuvenated, I think is kind of starting to rub off on everyone else.
Yeah, I think so too. Jack Fritz, thank you so much for being with us, man. Do you have anything to plug real quick before we let you go?
No, just listen to the afternoon show on WIP, Marks and Reese 2 to 6, and then check out the High Hopes podcast if you want some more Phil's takes and mostly Nick Tavetta love.
Jack, I have one more question for you before I let you go.
Okay.
What is your favorite part of working in Philly sports radio?
Oh man, it's just like I don't even know. Like honestly, my favorite part is working with people that I grew up idolizing. So like I just think it's crazy sometimes when I'm like just talking to Glenn McNow or Ray Didinger or talking to Ike Reese. Like I just think that's like if you told me that 5 years ago,
Yeah.
I'd be like you're crazy. Like that doesn't actually happen. But being able to work with Angelo and even like the camera Richie, like all those guys, like it's crazy. Just being able to work with those guys and being able to craft opinions and takes and interacting with the callers. It's been great. I don't really have a favorite part. I just it's working with people that I grew up idolizing is still crazy to me.
That's incredible. Jack Fritz, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Follow Jack Fritz at Jack Fritz WIP on Twitter. Jack, we'll hopefully talk to you again soon, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. Whenever you need me.
So you've been listening to the Might Be News Network, but you still can't get enough each week? Become our patron on Patreon. Head to patreon.com/MBN Network to become a patron and get exclusive content now. For as little as $5 per month, you'll get access to extended episodes of all your favorite shows, as well as perks including MBN merch and monthly giveaways. Just want to support the network? Become a patron for as much or as little as you'd like. Get bonus content each week and head to patreon.com/MBN Network. Your contributions help us make this network bigger and better than ever before. Patreon.com/MBN Network.
All right, welcome back to the mid-season finale of Might Be Sports. We're going to do rapid fire real quick before we get into another phone call with Andrew DeCecco. CJ, what do you got for rapid fire? I swear to God, when we come back, we're going to have something for this, but I don't have a button for it yet.
Kevin, that was so enthusiastic.
Yeah, I've lost my enthusiasm.
I'd rather have a button.
Okay, terrific.
Once we get a button.
All right, this will get you started again, Kevin.
All right, let's do it.
Meta World Peace. I belong in the Hall of Fame. Haters might keep me out.
Like, what, like professional wrestling? Didn't he do a little bit of that? Or am I
think he did, didn't he? Or he tried
That's
to?
his
or
only
I don't
chance.
think so.
That would be his only chance because why would he ever be in the Hall of Fame? I don't know if he ever did. He win a championship? Maybe with the Lakers.
Maybe with the Lakers.
I think so, yes.
I don't know.
I don't know either. And he doesn't deserve like to be anywhere near the Hall of Fame.
I don't know his stats
Kinda
all
crazy.
like that, so I'm not sure.
He was like, I'm gonna guess. I could look it up, but I don't feel like it. This is the rapid fire segment, and I'm gonna say 16 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. But he played great defense. But that's it.
Okay.
Just one of those guys.
Okay.
Antonio Brown. Kids ask, where's Roethlisberger at Raiders camp?
Guess what? Who said this?
His kids.
Whose kids?
Antonio
his
Brown.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. How young are they? They're young, probably, right?
Oh, yeah. They look like, maybe 5.
Oh, then that's
They're
not
like
even news.
18, 19, but they have some severe learning disabilities.
It's funny,
So-
but it's not news. It's funny though. It's funny.
Michael Jordan competing in huge fishing tourney on Catch 23 yacht.
Who did this?
Michael Jordan.
Jordan.
That's a great name for
That
a
is
boat.
that's a
Wow.
great name for a boat. I'm all about that. That's genius. That's genius.
So you think Emmitt Smith has a Catch 22 boat?
I mean, it would make sense.
That's too easy though. Somebody's got Catch 22 already.
Yeah, somebody probably already has it. I mean, is there a thing where like, can there be more than one boat with the same name? Is it like a license plate?
Yeah.
Is it like
that's
a vanity
good
plate?
question.
Because I don't know. Like you can only have like for a vanity plate, right? There's
Yeah, I believe it's more of like a state thing. So
Yeah, it might be per state.
So if you're up here, you could have Catch 23 yacht.
yeah.
Magic Johnson yacht vacation with LL Cool J, $1 million per week.
Wait, who?
Magic Johnson
So
and
that's
LL
like-
Cool J are on vacation on a yacht, and it cost $1 million per week.
That's a lot of money for a week. More power to them. Jesus Christ.
That's a
That's a
LL
little
Cool
excessive.
J is still pulling in that kind of coin.
I guess.
What
but,
are they
like,
paying him on NYPD CSI Blue?
My whole thing is like, what the fuck are you doing for
IS.
$1 million a week, bruh? Is it $1 million a week for the both of them or each?
I think it's like the boat and everything that's included.
Just the
That's
whole,
what I gathered.
The
Yeah.
whole experience is,
Yeah.
is $1 million a week.
This is why Magic Johnson was never going to work out as president of basketball operations, because Magic Johnson wants to do Magic Johnson kind of shit. And that does not include sitting in an office all day and talking about, well, I mean, we could give that guy the mid-level exception. Or maybe we could take some cash considerations and then maybe we move around. So what does LeBron want to do? Well, we can't make any move without LeBron's say. Let's see what he wants to do. No, screw that. Magic Johnson is the man in his own world. And there was already a man over there in LA and LeBron, so he doesn't get to be full-on Magic Johnson. Now he gets to be himself, his true self. And you know what? What do the kids say? They're living their true life. They're living
Their best life.
Their best life. Magic Johnson's living his best life. And guess what? It's magic. That was bad.
Okay, terrific.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Moving on.
Next.
Tom Brady, $40 million Boston area mansion for sale. Retirement hint?
Man, I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming. I don't care what everybody says. 5 more years. My dick.
You don't have to think that hard about it. It's going to be over when it's clearly over. Like when he can't play anymore is when he's done playing. That's a hot take.
It's a hot take.
But it's true. When he can no longer play the game of football, when he's no longer better than the replacement, he's going to stop playing. But not before then. He said as much. There's no reason to believe otherwise. So it doesn't matter what his age is, unless he gets seriously hurt and or can no longer play. I mean, he's going to keep going.
It's true.
Ben Simmons, racist allegations are lies, casino claims.
Yeah, I saw something about this today. I didn't read a lot about it, but it sounds like he got, according to him, he got like profiled and what, thrown out or something?
Denied access, it sounded like.
Okay.
Well, he started so it was 4 guys. One was white. The other 3, including Ben, were black. And they carded the 3 black guys and let the white guy go. And the white guy goes, wait, do you need to see my ID too? And they said, no, you're fine. So then they started the rant and calling them racist. So then they got denied access to the casino.
So
I don't know. A whole lot more needs to come out about this.
I want
because
to see photos of the 4 people to see how old they look.
He's extremely well known. He's a
This is
extreme
Australia.
celebrity in Australia. He's a big time.
Really?
big deal.
Well, he's from there.
Yeah.
So everybody knows who Ben Simmons is. So it's not like you're not. I wonder if it was a scenario where, like one of those, like, one of these guys is not like the other. And they were thinking, they see Ben Simmons with his guys and they see the one white guy and they might have assumed the white guy's not with them. And maybe they meant to card Ben Simmons and his guys because this is kind of an important group. Let's make sure these are the guys that they
That's true.
are supposed to be. We don't want Ben Simmons and a bunch of lookalikes, coming in here, and then 2 hours later the real Ben Simmons shows up, and that would be kind of embarrassing.
Well,
So I'm thinking maybe they carded those guys because they thought they were the important ones, and the white guy wasn't.
They
part of
totally messed
group.
that up. Trying to take care of them.
Yeah.
Either,
totally messed that
either
up.
way, it was whatever went down. It was a huge mistake.
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
the casino's part.
Sure.
And then last one. Machine Gun Kelly, Browns will win Super Bowl. Baker Mayfield for MVP.
See, when I was coming up in the rap game with MGK, he would talk this kind of stuff with me all the time. And
Okay, terrific.
we would trade. He would talk, sports to me and I kind of knew what I was talking about and all that, and I would give him some licks. We'd both go back and forth and say, yeah, that's cute. But at the end of the day,
it just took a complete turn. You started doing sports writing, and he probably took some of your lines.
Right, but that's the thing. We both inspired each other, and we're where we are now because of one another.
Okay,
and,
terrific.
I got nothing but love for Machine. That's what I'm on a first name basis with him now. Always have been. Yeah. So he calls me KP. I call him Machine, and we're tight like that.
When you call him MGK, if he's calling you KP.
Don't pretend to know anything about our relationship, CJ. You don't.
Okay, terrific.
So I could call him right now. If my phone wasn't. Yeah, my phone's about to die, so I can't do that now. But maybe another time. Don't worry about it. Anytime.
No.
One of these days, we haven't talked about this in a long time, but I do want to prove that anyone can rap. Ergo, I can rap, and you're gonna give me a beat, and we're gonna do this. I'm gonna write it out. I can write a killer rap, Taylor. I can write a rap that really, really hits with the people.
Okay, terrific.
It's gonna be really catchy. Just wait.
Oh God. Come on, Kev. I don't even know what to say to you.
Rap.
Your disrespect to the hip hop community is unprecedented, and as someone who has rapped before, I can tell you that you are correct in saying that everyone can rap. Everyone can do it.
You can do anything you put your mind to.
You can rhyme words because rhyming is a thing, right? That's a thing that anyone can do. However,
but I have it.
You have
puts
the
me
it factor.
Over the. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly.
I don't want to put words in your mouth.
That's exactly what I was getting at.
Well, thank you. That means a lot.
I don't even remember what the rapid fire story was. Oh, he said the Browns are going to win the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Okay, terrific.
I will say this, that Baker Mayfield had a pretty epic beer chug. Did you see that recent thing?
I did, and I can't
not see his mustache, but he bit a hole in a beer can. So
yeah, let me just say, I was a kid once too, and just wait for the dentist bill on those moves. I did that kind of stuff, and it comes back to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
It just does. I used to open beer bottles with my teeth all the time.
Yeah.
Eventually, the beer bottle wins.
Eventually, yes, I assume so. All right, so that's it. That's all for the rapid fire.
Yes.
So that was great.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, you sound excited. You all right?
Yeah,
you need to use the bathroom or something?
I'm really good. I'm good. No, I love it. I'm trying to imagine what the rapid fire sounder is going to be like, because it will be kind of a relief to just be able to hit a button and not do the. It sounds so stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
Yeah, we're better than that. All right, let me pause real quick.
Are we?
I would say so. I think we are to a point. I see your point that maybe we aren't, but I think we are. I think so. Especially because we have buttons now.
We have buttons.
We do. So there's no reason for us to not have a button for that. Unless we were just well, it's kind of a gimmick at this point.
Well, you know what? We're good enough. We're smart enough, and some people like us.
Some people do. I don't know who, but somebody does.
We start these shows with our self-esteem sky high, and we just tear each other down as the episodes go along. And by tomorrow, we feel worthless, and it's just a slow uphill climb until next week. So
we have a few weeks in between this time, so it's just gonna be like this. We have 4 weeks to just build ourselves up to an all-time high, because by then football will be back at least. That's something that I'm dramatically looking forward to.
I am just shitting glitter about this new NFL season. Let me tell you, I cannot wait. It's going to be awesome.
I agree.
But I really am. Going to the preseason game on Thursday, people tend to like the third preseason game the most. That's when the starters are playing the most. I love the first one. It's the first game back. There's excitement when you're there.
Yeah.
And, I like
That's Thursday, isn't
the
it?
atmosphere.
It's Thursday.
Yep, all Thursday games. So it's going to be some nice atmosphere. Can't wait to do that. It's not great that it's on a Thursday. You got to work the next day, but
Yeah. That's all right.
life goes on.
Gets us into the swing of it,
Right.
I watch Thursday Night Football, usually, and I don't even care who's playing. That's how much I love football.
Yeah, I don't think they should expand beyond, and do more things. They're talking about like Tuesday, Wednesday, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
no, I'm not with that. No.
It's too much.
No.
I do like the Thursday game, though.
It makes it special.
Right. I enjoy that one game because it is enough of a break, I think, for me. You have the one game on Monday, and, it's just one single night game. Yeah. And then you got those 2 days off afterward is enough to make you kind of miss it. And then you have the one single game on Thursday, and it kind of gets you back into it.
Yeah.
Then, again, 2 more days off. It gets you salivating.
Keeps you going, yeah. Yep.
So I think that structure right now works perfect. Not everybody loves the Thursday game, whatever. You can't please everyone. But I think this version of what they're doing is the best version.
I agree. Let's pause real quick and get Andrew DeCecco on the line. We got Andrew DeCecco on the line. You can follow him on Twitter at @DeCeccoNFL. What's up, Andrew? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, Taylor? How's everybody doing?
Everybody's great. Pumped up for football. We've been talking about it. How excited are you? We were just talking about the preseason starts on Thursday, and it's finally here, man. It's finally here. How you feeling?
Oh man, I'm so excited. I've kind of followed the football train all year round. I followed the Eagles during the season, and then I did the draft, and then I did all the off-season stuff, and now it's finally time to focus on the NFL season.
It's finally here. How are the Eagles looking right now in camp? I've been seeing some great footage of Carson Wentz getting some nice reps with Deshaun Jackson. But how's everybody else looking?
Obviously, you heard about Wentz to Deshaun. They look really good. They're gonna they form probably the best quarterback to receiver tandem. They have the potential to do so. Offensive line looks good. There's some questions about the backup offensive line. I mean, Mailata has kind of had a rough go the last week or so. Stefan Wisniewski's had some trouble with his snaps, and they're counting on him to be the backup behind Kelsey, who, as you may remember, had a number of injuries last season. So that is going to be a position to watch in the preseason. And I would say, as far as like receivers, Aguilar's look really good. Greg Ward is a player that I've been touting for the last 3 years. He's kind of emerging a little bit as a backup slot receiver. He can do a lot of different things, punt return, special teams. And then defense, Camus Grugier-Hill. He looked really good. He kind of stole the show for this summer, but unfortunately he got hurt. MCL injury. He'll be out probably 4 to 6 weeks. And yeah, I mean, those are some of the big names.
Are you concerned about the defense moving forward right now?
No, I'm not. They have. I think they have a plan. You look at the Jonathan Cyprien signing. A lot of people were like, they don't need an extra safety, and they were asking me about it. I said, I don't think that he's going to be a safety. I think he's going to be a hybrid in the form of a Mark Barron or a Deion Buchanan or a Shaq Thompson. And I think that they're going to find ways to move him around. I'm sure he'll be at safety at some point, but I don't necessarily think that that'll be his primary home.
What are you thinking? Like wins-loss totals right now? I mean, obviously preseason, but what does your outlook on this season look like right now?
I have them at 12-4.
Okay.
I think that they're going to come out strong against Washington, and I think the second game against the Falcons, I think they'll trip up. I'm really high on Atlanta this year. I think they have a really good team, and it's in Atlanta, so that should be tough. I have them losing. I actually haven't beaten the Patriots because it's going to be in Philly.
Yep.
And I haven't beaten Green Bay as well. There are a couple of the notable ones. I have them losing to the Vikings and the Seahawks and one of the Dallas games, the one in Dallas.
Talking to Andrew DeCecco from USA Today, Eagles Wire. Andrew, we're just talking about, what I always hate about fantasy football every year is that it always seems the rankings, and it makes sense if you're playing the odds. The guys that were great last year, you're going to put them at the top of the ranking sheet for the most part this year, but it never actually plays out that way. So if you were to make a bet on, let's start with like a team. What team do you think is going to come out of nowhere that right now, Vegas might have at 6, 7, 8 wins that you think has a chance to kind of climb the ladder? And what team do you think is kind of, towards the top of that list that might fall?
Okay, so the first part of your question, I think I would have to see the Jacksonville Jaguars. You look at, they have the defense. They need the quarterback. Yeah. And, they have Foles and they have a lot of young wideouts that I think are kind of ready to take that next step. They just need the right quarterback to, for them to fully realize their potential on offense. And I think that's a team that's kind of being overlooked, but I think that they have a potential to open some eyes this season. And as far as like a team at the top, I mean, I guess you could say, I don't know, probably the Houston Texans. They made the playoffs last year, but they've had offensive line trouble. Deshaun Watson gets hurt a lot. They don't have their running back situation is kind of weird. They have Lamar Miller, who will get you 25 carries for like 95 yards. He doesn't do a whole lot. And they just cut their backup running back with Deontay Foreman. So they really don't have a plan there. They have a couple undrafted free agents. So their running game is kind of up in the air. Their quarterback situation is, they got to protect Deshaun Watson. They haven't been able to do that. And aside from, actually, the receiving core is not that bad. You have DeAndre Hopkins. You have Will Fuller. You have Kiki Kute. You have DeAndre Carter. But they don't have any tight ends, and the league's kind of trending towards 12 personnel to kind of spread defenses out a little bit, and they don't have that luxury. So I think that's going to be any, Jadeveon Clowney that, he doesn't, now they're saying he's going to report by the third preseason game, but he doesn't want to be there. I don't know. It's kind of like setting up to be like a little bit of a disappointment. What's
crazy right now is with the Zeke Elliott thing, with him threatening to sit out, the entire season if that's what it takes.
I saw that, yeah.
It shapes up, and, we try not to be too big of, Eagles homers or anything, but it does seem to be shaping up to where the Eagles could just totally run away with this thing. Do you think, is it crazy to say that, the Eagles are so stacked? We're talking about like their weakness might be depth on the offensive line. Like when you're talking about backup positions,
I would
you're
say
in a really good position.
Backup quarterback is a big weakness for the Eagles right now, and I would probably say defensive end.
So do you think, let's say Zeke Elliott, let's say it all plays out in the Eagles' favor, and let's say, as far as the other teams in their division go, let's say the Giants are exactly what we think they are, and the Redskins don't really get anything going. Is it possible, just to throw it out there, let's say Carson Wentz gets hurt week 1. Do you think they could win the division?
No. I don't.
So you do actually think obviously Carson Wentz is extremely important to this team.
Yeah.
You said if he gets hurt week 1.
If he gets hurt week 1, do you think they have the backup quarterback right now I guess Nate Sudfeld? Would he be the backup? Is he the number 2?
Right. And you brought up an interesting point, which is kind of what I wanted to touch on. Nate Sudfeld he's going to be the guy that I'm looking at in the preseason, probably closer than anyone.
Yeah.
Because, he's replacing Nick Foles. So, Carson Wentz, you're talking about a player who's missed the last parts of the last couple of seasons with injury. Ideally, you hope that he plays all 16, but that just hasn't been, the facts. That just hasn't happened. So there's a likelihood that you could see Nate Sudfeld for 1 or 2 games. He's been up and down in training camp. He throws a lot of short balls. Doesn't really open up to get the defense on their feet. He doesn't really throw deep at all. And he's just, there's certain throws that he makes that he's just not processing things as fast as a lot of people would expect him to be with his third season in the system. I mean, I have him keeping 2 quarterbacks on my 53, and I have Sudfeld on there, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't see what they want from him if they look to acquire an established veteran.
Makes sense to me.
Because
you're right.
That would be like the one domino. Like if Wentz goes down, the season's finished. In its current state, Nick Foles ain't walking through that door. I mean, you know, you can have all the talent you want, but they don't have, the most important position is quarterback, and if you don't have an adequate backup, I mean, you're kind of done.
I agree completely. It's gonna be really interesting because and we've talked about it multiple times so far this season, is that's the X factor. That is where the Eagles live or die this year, is literally on the knee of Carson Wentz, just basically on Carson Wentz. And I mean, obviously they've improved at a number of positions, but what would you say is the position that they've improved the most?
Improved the most, I would probably say, well, defensive tackle, definitely, because you got Malik Jackson, and you know who is gonna, and next to Fletcher Cox, has the best pass rushing defensive tackle tandem in the NFL. And then you have Tim Jernigan, who, let's not forget, was a starter at the Super Bowl, and he's your 3rd tackle now, coming off the bench. So, I mean, and then after that, you got Trayvon Hester, who the team is very high on. He's had a great camp. He's your 4th guy now. Last year he was your 3rd. And then you have Hassan Ridgeway, who actually has just leapfrogged Hester in the depth chart that just came out a little while ago. So, I mean, it's kind of an embarrassment of riches to have there. They're 5 deep, which is kind of it's unprecedented for most teams. So, I mean, and I think you might see Malik Jackson play a little bit of defensive end, you know, because they lost Joe Osman on Sunday night, and I truly believe that he was going to be their 5th defensive end.
So we were talking about it last week. We kind of ran down USA Today's season preview and what they thought was going to happen, and they have the Eagles making it to the Super Bowl, but losing it to the Los Angeles Chargers.
That's interesting. I mean,
I thought that was interesting too.
I mean, what do I know? But I think the Chargers, like, they're my pick to take a big step back this season. I don't believe in Philip Rivers.
I have them going to the championship game and losing to the Colts. Actually, I pick Anthony Lynn, their head coach, to win Coach of the Year, and I think that they're a team that they're kind of like, if you look at it, every year they're kind of built through the draft, that they're doing things the right way. And now they kind of have a lot of pieces on defense that are kind of going to be able to complement the offense. And I have their safety, Derwin James, as Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Wow. And, you know, I just don't think that – I think that Frank Reich will coach Anthony Lynn in the championship game, but I think the Chargers are going to be one of the teams that I think are going to take the biggest leap forward this year.
Do you well, what is so you think it's going to be Eagles Colts in the Super Bowl?
That's what I have right now. You know, Andrew Luck is my MVP candidate. Yeah, I think that I think he's gonna he has the potential to throw anywhere from 48 to 50 touchdowns. He threw 39 last year with, you know, an ailing receiving core the entire year. So
right.
I think that, you know, with another system, with another year in Frank Reich's system, they added more pieces on defense, and, you know, the running game's ready to take off. I think that now they'll be able to kind of take that next step this year, and probably I think the years of the Patriots kind of taking things over, running that whole you know, AFC is done.
So we got the Eagles playing their first preseason game on Thursday, 7:30, and what I always like to ask you is, who, if you got to pick one guy, then, you know, let's say not a starter per se, but like, who were you most excited to see on Thursday?
Man, that's tough.
And let's say on offense, because it's just not as exciting if you name like an offensive line, or, you know, an offensive skill position guy, or like a defensive skill position guy. No defensive tackles or offensive linemen or you know, none of those guys. Like an exciting guy.
So you want one on defense, one on offense?
That makes sense. Let's do that. Yeah.
Well, Miles Sanders is obviously on offense. I'm going to take.
And how does he? Is he as build from what you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times, especially in this city, we're too quick to draw comparisons to the players like before they really kind of earn that. And you look on Twitter and they're comparing him to Shady McCoy already. We have to see that on the field and game action and everything. Shady was a special player. Let's not forget that he's kind of he's a candidate for the Hall of Fame potentially. But I mean, some of the cuts that he makes, like he's a special player. He's the most talented back on the roster. I don't think he's going to be a game one starter right off the bat. They do like Jordan Howard. But what was interesting was on today's depth chart, he was listed as the first team kick returner, which is kind of weird. But, kind of weird to put, a player that you've invested in back there. But, I think he's as advertised.
Okay, then who do you have on defense?
On defense, I want to see my man Sidney Jones. Sidney Jones is a player that I picked to be the defensive bounce back. I predict that he will start opposite Ronald Darby in the opener. He's been playing. He had a tremendous camp. Rasul Douglas had a tremendous camp. But I want to see what Sidney can do because he played in one game his rookie year, and he played in 9 games last year. He's played in 10 games in 3 years. Or 10 games in 2 seasons, and this will be his 3rd season. So, I mean, a lot of the fan base is kind of getting a little bit, that nervous. Like, is this guy, as billed? Like, is he ever going to reach his potential, or is he going to be a 2nd-round bust?
Yeah, it does seem make or break for him right now. Do you think his ceiling is still to be a Pro Bowl type player?
I think so, but it's one thing to dominate in practice against your teammates, and it's another thing that when you got the pads on, you're going against somebody else. He's not the biggest guy. He's very light at 180. But I've seen him just get kind of tossed around out there by some of the bigger wideouts. So I want to see if he's willing to stick his head in there and make a tackle. If he's willing to press a guy, and I kind of want to see if he has the makeup and can be that outside shutdown guy that they drafted him to be.
Andrew, thank you so much for being on with us tonight, man. It's been a real pleasure working with you. This half of the season for Might Be Sports. We're really looking forward. This is our midseason finale. We're taking a month off. We're coming back after Labor Day, so just in time for football season. USA Today, Eagles Wire, Andrew DeCecco, thank you so much for being here, man. And we can't wait to talk to you in September, dude.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Thanks, Andrew.
You got it.
See you, man. All right, that was Andrew DeCecco. USA Today, Eagles Wire. Find him on Twitter at @DeCecco NFL. Let's do Go to the Week and get out of here.
Might Be Sports presents the greatest of all time.
Of the week. All right, my Go to the Week this week is a guy by the name of Glendon Oakley Jr. This is one of the guys that he's in the military. He ran inside the Walmart in El Paso this past weekend when the shooting was going on, grabbing kids and trying to get them out of the building as fast as possible. I saw an interview with him, just really powerful stuff. And that's all I'm going to say. I mean, in situations like that, you hope that somebody like Glendon Oakley Jr. is there, and all the people that he saved, all the people that he helped that day, we're really lucky that he was there. He's my Go to the Week. What do you got?
And then once again, I got to follow the serious one with, I don't know if you want to go, if it's better for me to go silly before you're serious or silly after the series. I don't think it matters either way. I look like an idiot.
No, it's okay.
But my Go to the Week, it's actually multiple goats.
Okay.
It is representatives for running back Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh.
He's got the best representatives.
The best ones.
Believe me.
Oh.
The best. He has, believe me, the best representatives, Ezekiel Elliott. They're giving him great advice right now. You know what, Zeke? It's hard out there. You know, you got to run into guys, and your joints, your muscles, that they hurt. hey, it stinks to run into a big guy and get tackled. It hurts. And, 17 weeks of an NFL season, who needs that?
Yeah.
Sit out, just take a rest. 2020 will be right around the corner, and you'll get that big payday, and, everyone will be happier for it, especially everyone here in Philadelphia. And you know what? Great career so far, kid. You've earned a break. So just listen to your representatives. They got your best interest in mind. And just enjoy time off, man.
Just have fun.
Yeah.
Great job.
The best representatives.
The best ones. Reevy, great job the past 15 weeks, man. Thank you so much for all your work, man. And thank you for your consistency and for just coming over here, getting us these awesome guests. It's been a blast, dude. Absolute blast. Thank you.
And when we come back, Survivor.
When we come back, all right, see, that's the other thing. Survivor, we got Survivor, we got football. It's going to be very, very, very easy for us to be going and doing the 90-minute episodes. So go to patreon.com/MBN Network. If you are a fan of this show, if you're a fan of the other shows on this network, go to patreon.com/MBN Network. People have loved the packages that we've been sending out. We've got a bunch of free care packages that we're going to be sending out too to celebrate some of the things that we've got going on in the second half of the season. We've got books we're giving out. We got koozies we're giving out. We got autographed Novak and Franz stuff. We got monthly giveaways. We got the travel mugs that everybody loves the travel mugs. I'm sending them out. People are taking pictures with them. They love this shit. I'm glad that we went the extra mile with them. They're fantastic. It's just been great. Go to patreon.com/MBN Network for more details. CJ, thanks for everything, man.
You're welcome.
It's been a fantastic half of the season. CJ has done a lot for us on our SoundCloud with the playlists. He uploads all the YouTube stuff. Go to YouTube, search for Might Be News Network on YouTube, right? It's Might Be News Network on YouTube.
Yes.
And CJ does a lot of really, 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 really great things. And so does everybody on the network. It's just been an absolute pleasure to work with everybody. And to you guys, the listeners, we thank you guys the most because without you guys, we wouldn't have a reason to be here. So we hope to see you guys in September. Again, we'll be back after Labor Day. Give us a little chance to recharge, let football start and all that good stuff. You guys have anything to add to this? Nothing? We're good.
Yeah, check out ESPN.com for news. And yeah, Comcast.
Okay, terrific.
TV, Netflix. They got some cool things going on right now.
That's what I'm going to do for the next month. I'm going to be catching up on some shows.
Pretty awesome show on one of those, the Hulu or the Amazon thing, The Boys.
The Boys, we binged it. It's great. Did you see the whole thing yet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I can't wait for season 2.
The ending?
But I can't wait for season 2. Because now excited. I need to know what happens next. Because it was great. It was great. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys in September.
Love you.
It's going to be a blast. We got a lot more stuff to accomplish. We got a lot of fun stuff in store, so stay tuned. We'll see you after Labor Day. Bye-bye.